Hey, everybody. Hello and good afternoon on the East Coast. Welcome to this week's new episode of X Vlog Live. I am your host, Mr. Boomstick XL. Ladies and gentlemen, I kind of made a boo-boo, and thanks to Dreadpool, who's probably in the chat still, I realized that I set the stupid program to start at 12 a.m., which is ridiculous. It's just been so many shows that, occasionally you make a boo-boo. Hopefully, people will tune in for what we have today. Obviously, I'm going to sit here with John Wolf. John, welcome to the program, brother. It's great to go one-on-one. We have some killer topics, some hot topics. We're going to be talking about Japan and what all of the support from Sega and Atlus and Hideo Kojima. And of course, maybe we hear something later on today from Square Enix about bringing Final Fantasy VII to Xbox Game Pass. Even if it doesn't come to Game Pass, I'm buying it for sure, but would love to simply just press the download button. We're going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that dropped today on Game Pass for the price of, well, free if you have your subscription paid for, like me and John and many others do. And I've got through the first two bosses, and my God, it is so good. Just to give the community the heads up, as soon as this show is done, probably around 1:15, give or take, I'm jumping onto Xbox Live. I'm going to do a looking for group party, and I'm going to have my thing open. And if you want to jump in and you want to play Turtle 6-player, man, just let's go. I'm going to do some recording for the show tomorrow, and let's have some fun. But John, welcome to the program, brother. Glad to have you.
Thank you. Thanks, Boom, for the invite on Xvlog Live. I love the banner up there, Boom. It's bringing back those feels of the early Xbox days with the live logo there. It's awesome, dude. Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor, honestly. And yeah, we're gonna be touching on all the topics that you mentioned, Boom. Tried out a little bit of Turtles this morning. Playing a little hooky from work there, and it so far so good, Boom. It's definitely hitting the right notes, and yeah, looking forward to it, Boom. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, no, the banner that's designed comes the way of a very good friend of the program, Ben Kenobi of Twitter, who actually just made a new icon for Twitter. If you're interested in getting it, it's with the turtles. It's a turtle shell with the four colors. It looks phenomenal. I've already changed mine. Ben Kenobi, good friend of mine personally, and great friend of this community, artist extraordinaire for sure.
Absolutely. And Boom, one thing before we get into it, I just got to give you your flowers, Boom, for putting on a fantastic week of shows, man.
Thank you, sir.
One after the other. It's been fantastic to listen to all of them, and for everyone in the chat and everyone listening to you maybe for the first time here, go back and listen to all the great content that Boom has put up this week, because it really has been like an E3 week thanks to content creators like Boom and others.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, it certainly has been a busy week to say the least. I'm running on fumes. I got one more show, and that obviously is Breakfast with Boom tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I'm going to take a nice I think it's a 4-day break. We don't convene back to podcasting until Tuesday's Xbox Factor podcast. So it's going to be nice to kind of just stretch out a little bit, play some games, and just take a bit of a break, because like I said, this is work, and I love it. I absolutely enjoy it. But listen, John, you were playing Turtles.
Yeah,
and
man.
You said something on the opening, which is pretty interesting, and I want to get your experience on it. You said you were playing on cloud.
That's right. Yeah.
How did that work?
Yeah, it worked out real well, Boom. Obviously, being at work, I was able to try it out, and I just wanted I've been so excited that I just wanted to get a taste of it. Okay, so I cranked it on, Boom, and from my phone, Boom, I was playing like nothing through the Wi-Fi here at work. It was a little choppy because my internet can go in and off, but I just wanted to give it a go, Boom, and I was able to try it out, dude. And that's the power of cloud, right? That's where all this stuff comes together. It's supposed to be supplemental, and these are the little features that they finally that everything has come into fruition. And once you experience this, it's hard to go back, to be honest with you.
And that's interesting. Like I said, for me, I'm not a cloud guy. Like I'm home, I'm retired, I'm not on the go. I don't have a Steam Deck. I know a lot of people do, and that's where a lot of people like Kay Asante, good friend of the program, is probably going to be, probably playing it, and that's pretty dope, to be honest with you. Which is why I mean, I don't want to go down this deep dark rabbit hole, but I definitely want to. I'm hoping at some point. Listen, I get it, right? Like I get you can go on your phone, your tablet, your pewter. That's awesome. You know,
Mhm.
choice is key. But I am still dying for Microsoft to make their own handheld, even if they partner with the Steam Deck
Oh
and they have
yeah.
a tricked out, Xbox version, with the Xbox banners and logos. Maybe it's white, maybe it's black. I don't know. Maybe it's green. I don't know. I would love to see that. Big shout out to Viking Panda 69. He says finally caught the show live. Won't be able to stay long. Just wanted to say, I can't read the second part of it. Here it is. It says, just wanted to say, best group in the business. Always appreciate the good times and chats. Thanks, brother. That's very kind of you to say. Real quick, I have to say a shout out to Drawn TJ, who drops a monster first $20 super chat. He says, morning, guys. Forza Motorsport is doing a deep dive right now. I didn't even know that. Thanks,
Wow.
Sean.
I didn't know that either.
And it says, now, I can't wait. Everyone hit the like button, please. Thank you for the kind words, the hot off the presses information, because I didn't even know that. And I keep my ear to the floor. I mean, for crying out loud, I'm retired, so this is what I do. But listen, I got a chance to play, I don't know, but maybe an hour worth, 45 minutes, an hour worth of Turtles.
Nice.
And I could tell you, it's a classic. It's a modern day classic masterpiece.
The way that I would describe it, Boom, it's a love letter to to everyone that grew up watching the Turtles, playing Turtles in Time, the arcade game. It really felt like a love letter. And dude, even when I'm seeing the animations when I was playing, like when you grab the foot soldier and you throw him against the screen, man, I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that I just did that. And it brought back a lot of good memories. And the gameplay is solid, dude. I'm definitely gonna go deep on that one.
That one is again. I intend that's what I love about the game is it's probably about, I don't know, what, a 3 or 4 hour romp from start to finish.
More than
I would
likely.
imagine. But that's a game that you're going to go back to and hang out with your buddies. Even you hang out with just people from the community. That's a game you're going to keep going back to and playing. I actually can't wait. If you didn't know. It is available literally right now on Xbox Game Pass. If you want to buy it, it's 10% off with Xbox Game Pass. I think it's like $22. It is JetFan95 says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is like the Sonic Mania game a few years back. Yeah,
Yep.
I actually just finished playing Sonic Mania with my nephew Tyler, who
Yep.
loves it, and we spent I think he stayed over like 2 weekends ago. And we played is that game is just phenomenal. That's great.
Boom, that I still have my 360 plugged right into my little setup here, and I still
Nothing
go
wrong
back.
with that.
And brother, I still go back and I play TMNT Reshelved. Remember that came out during the 360 days? So I still go back and I play that. So this game, dude, it really is what I consider a love letter to Turtle fans.
Well, I'm happy that it's here. We've been waiting. Like I said, it's a big deal that it drops into Xbox Game Pass. Quite frankly, it's the perfect game for Xbox Game Pass because, well, Xbox is known as the multiplayer box, right?
That's
Like
right.
if there's anything that jumps off the page with Xbox, besides Xbox Game Pass, besides Xbox Live, besides its amazing community, it's the fact that it's known as a multiplayer box. So that's why a game like this literally fills the need for Xbox Game Pass, not only in value, but the fact that it's you're going to be playing with a bunch of people, whether it's randos, whether it's friends of yours, whether it's people from the community. It's a great opportunity to get multiplayer on, and it's a game that doesn't really need a lot of talking. So if you don't want to use your mic, that's cool. But if you want to, like I said, if you're hanging out with your friends, you're hanging out with people from the community, you want to enjoy yourself, why not? But John, I want to get into some new news that popped up during the IGN interview with Todd Howard.
Okay.
And I want to go there first because he mentioned Fallout 5.
Yes.
And as exciting as the fact that we kind of know that it's in the front cortex of his brain, we also now learn that this game isn't coming for years. And the question is, how many years? Is it 4? Is it 5? Is it 6? Because the reason why I ask, John, is because we know that they're currently, it's all hands on deck for Starfield. And that
Correct.
game is going to release next year. And it's probably going to end up being Game of the Year. Just on early opinions, and I'll speak with the chat and get your opinion on whether or not you think this is going to be one of those contenders. And again, we don't. Breath of the Wild is next year, so that's going to be a contender. We don't know if God of War is kind of going to be held back because we don't know what Sony has planned for next year. Like they keep their gloves, close to the vest.
Corey Barlog would have you believe it's this year. So
he will have you. This again. He retweeted that, and a lot of people are saying now now again we've heard from different people that it's 50-50.
Right.
They do have a game coming out this fall in The Last of Us remaster or remake, and that's good. So they do have a Sony holiday game. That's a big deal. A lot of people are going to go out and buy it. I originally was going to buy it day one until I realized that it's literally just a 1-to-1. See, like what I thought was going to happen, and I don't want to get too much off topic here, is that when you look at Resident Evil 2 remake, it's an honest to God remake. Right?
It's a brand new game. In other words,
it's literally a brand new game.
Yeah.
Resident Evil 3, brand new game.
Correct.
Resident Evil 4 looks like it's a remake, is going to be a brand new game. Final Fantasy 7 remake is a brand new game.
Right.
This, from what we saw, and again, this is what Sony showed us, so I can only go based on what my eyeballs saw. It's literally a 1-to-1.
Yeah, and I think the biggest hindrance here, Boom, and we talked about it on the last episode of Breakfast with Boom, is the price, brother. If this
$70,
if this thing was $40, $50 the most, it would be a no-brainer. But at $70 for what you're getting, and we got into it, it's not, in my opinion, does it look better? Absolutely. I've seen some screenshots and some short little videos there comparing a couple of characters there, and they look absolutely fantastic. They look on the level of The Last of Us 2. But Boom, again, this is all subjective, of course. We don't speak for the majority of the people, but for me personally, and for you, it sounds like $70 might be just a little bit too steep for what they're providing here.
Yeah. Now, you know what? I do want to pump the brakes, because someone actually made a Sacred Jedi, who's been someone that's always in the chat. I want to thank you for being here. He asks, what happened to Assassin Lupa? Folks, this is where we got to kind of just pause the game and kind of get real. Apparently, Assassin Lupa, if you don't know who she is, she's an amazing, absolutely amazing community member. She's a part of the Friday podcast that's run by by Pong and Mav and that crew. Apparently yesterday, and this was brought to our attention by the master mod himself, Lethal Papa, that she was going in for a test, and apparently she had a bit of a stroke. Now I don't know the extent of it other than what has been already put out there on social media, but apparently they have her sedated so they can allow for the brain swelling to decrease. Obviously, it's unbelievably serious. I don't know who her husband is. I know his name is John. I don't think he's listening to this program, but I think that send all of your best prayers and wishes, even if you just go at her on Twitter to let her know that you're thinking of her. It would be unbelievably great and supportive. She's an amazing person. And I mean, anyone that talks about Assassin Lupa only has wonderful things to say. So again, just send your prayers and your best wishes to her, because she's fighting for her life. And as soon as I get an update, I will talk about it or post about it. But I can only go with what has been posted. And so far, it's still not looking good.
Yeah.
John, you want to add anything to that, brother?
No, just send your prayers, man. Anytime you hear that, anyone or any member of the community is suffering from any hardship or illness or anything like that, nothing but prayers, Lupa. Pull out. We're all hoping that everything's all right, and much prayers to your family. And yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else much to say. Boom. It's very sad and unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, best wishes and prayers to her. Like I said, if as soon as I hear something, I will definitely talk about it on the socials, and of course, we'll talk about it potentially tomorrow. Hopefully, she makes a turn for the better. But real quick, let me just thank Shane in the chat, who drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, Game Pass saved me $30 today. Game Pass is the exclusivity. Indeed, it is.
Agreed.
I've been saying that for years.
Yep.
We also have let's see, we got another super chat coming in from Highlander 001, who drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, the Turtles game brings me back to the arcade of the 80s.
There you go.
The only thing missing is the smell of cigarette smoke, black coke, and despair.
And for some reason, the joystick and the buttons, they were always greasy, brother.
They were always greasy, sticky, didn't work. For me, I remember playing that game back in the days in Nathan's Arcade. So I remember you would get the smell of hot dogs. That's what hot dogs and French fries, which was a deadly combination, because that's probably why I was fat as a kid. So, what can I tell you? But listen, let's see. Welsh Gamer is in the chat. Good friend of my of all of ours, and has returned to social media, has been on a podcast with me. He's going to make some more podcast appearances. Welsh, let's see if we can get you on maybe next week's X Vlog. We'll see if we can get you on there, do a little one-on-one action. He says, unfortunately, I doubt Starfield will be Game of the Year, simply because it's an Xbox first-party game.
Damn.
Sadly, that is still a thing in 2022. But let me kind of rewind this a bit. We started talking about Fallout, and we're just going down the mountain. Wheels fell right off. But
that's good.
Fallout was brought up in conversation during the interview with Ryan over at IGN when talking to Todd Howard. And we know for an absolute fact that Fallout 5 isn't coming until Elder Scrolls 6 is done. And, look, they're still working on Starfield. We don't know when Starfield's releasing next year. They said first half. And if you look at real closely, there's an asterisk targeting first half. There are a lot of people. There are a lot of people in the community, John, that think that this could be held for a holiday. I really hope not. But I will say this: you'll never hear me complain about a game, a game being delayed, because who wants a broken game? Right. And I think that, everyone wants, there's a certain charm to Bethesda games with their bugs that as a community we accept. And I think the team over there wants to kind of shake that stigma. They want to release a game. They want it to be top notch. They want it to run at 60 frames. They want it to be 4K. They want it to run beautiful and not have people falling through the world. So however long it takes, it takes. With that said, we know that it's all hands on deck, John, right now for Starfield, and it makes perfect sense. I don't know what they've been doing with Elder Scrolls 6. Are they in pre-production? Are they simply just doing artwork for it? No one knows, because they're not talking. With that said, Fallout 5 is obviously something people are looking forward to. This is where I'm going to bring the near 300 people we already have here, John. We got to ask the question, and I got to ask you the question. And I don't have a way to do polls, at least not on StreamYards yet. I've asked. It's something they're going to add, because I like doing the polls. So we'll just have you throw the name in the chat. Here's the thing, folks. As excited as I am for Fallout 5, you know what I'm even more excited for? Potentially the release of Fallout New Vegas 2. So here's my question to the chat, ladies and gentlemen. As we wait for Elder Scrolls 6, which, again, could be 5 years from now, we know that Fallout 5 is a long ways away, and we know that Avowed potentially is releasing next year. Even though we didn't see it, we know that they've done a lot of work on that game. Who do you want? What from what dev do you want to play the next Fallout? Who in the
Yeah.
chat wants to play Fallout 5 from from Bethesda? And more importantly, instead of that, who wants Obsidian to release Fallout New Vegas 2? John, how do you combat this question?
Well, let me preface the question, Boom, by going a little bit into the history, right? For people to understand that, yes, Fallout New Vegas was made by Obsidian, but that was a long time ago, and that was a different Obsidian, right? I think that Obsidian right now, when Obsidian Entertainment, when they got purchased in 2018 by Xbox, I think that the thought that Phil had is that that was gonna be their Fallout like developer to be able to make these Western RPGs that are in line with with Starfield and a game like Avowed, to combat Elder Scrolls, because at that time maybe they didn't even think that purchasing Bethesda was a thing. They didn't think that that was going to be a reality 2 years later.
Yep.
So I think that knowing that, for the health of the franchise, Fallout as a franchise, Xbox kind of has to take everybody, and Phil has to take everybody like in a room, and they need to say, all right, what are you guys passionate about working? And
What
to
do you
me,
want to do? Yeah.
right. And to
Uh-oh. John popped out for a hot second. He says internet has been a little wonky. But listen, let me address the bright sun in the chat. First of all, brother, I've never seen the logo, so if you're new, welcome to the channel, dude. He says studios should do whatever they want, and then he follows it up by saying, "I don't like that people are trying to force some studios to do certain games." Well, first of all, I hear you, and it makes a lot of sense. I don't think that that Xbox is the Gestapo. I don't think that they're going to force anyone to do anything. But if you follow Obsidian, like I think most of the people in the chat here have, they want to make a Fallout New Vegas 2. That's a fact. I don't think it's a stretch to say that if given the opportunity to do it, A, could they, and B, would they? And I think the answer is yes and yes. Big shout out to Reggie Mobile 9. He says, I can't wait for Fallout. Let's see, where is it? I can't wait for Fallout 5. I think either In Exile or Obsidian would be great. Yeah, In Exile, you know what? Who's to say they're not working on another Fallout? Remember, they're working on a couple of IPs. They did make the original Fallout 1 and 2, which was, I believe, a top-down. I never played the original Fallouts. I only played the Fallout 3 like everybody else. I loved Fallout 3. I kind of enjoyed Fallout 4. It wasn't my fave, but my favorite Fallout of all time, and I don't know if anyone feels this way as well. For me personally, it is New Vegas. New Vegas was a freaking masterpiece. But John, please continue, brother.
Yeah, sorry about that, Boom. I think that Shredder got to my internet and probably
I
shredded the
wouldn't
line
doubt
here.
it. I would not
Yeah,
doubt it.
for sure. So where I was going into, Boom, is that I think that Phil needs to sit everybody down and say, listen, what are you guys passionate about working? Let's talk about these franchises. And I think that honestly, Obsidian Entertainment, I think that they would be happy to say we want to keep on working on the Outer Worlds with the world that we have created, and the Outer Worlds 2 is coming. We're working on About. So to answer your question directly, Boom, I don't think we're going to see Fallout 5 for quite a while. Now that is to say, what if Todd and the team do have a great idea, but they just need more staff? We know that they have 100% the backing of Microsoft and Xbox, so that's something that could be a reality for them as well. That doesn't mean that Todd wouldn't be able to handle multiple projects at once. It might be something new that he may have to do, but if he's willing to do it, and the passion is there, and the vision is there, I think that's something they can get done as well. Now, by all indications, Fallout New Vegas is, to many, and I think including you, Boom, it is the best, Fallout that anyone has ever made. I mean, is that am I going out on a limb? Because I've heard you praise it many times.
Nope. It is the best Fallout ever made, in
Yeah,
my humble opinion.
Yeah, and I think that some of the things like me personally, I never played I only played Fallout 3. I never played New Vegas or 4. I did play the Outer Worlds, and I personally enjoyed the Outer Worlds more than I did Fallout 3. And I just felt like the humor was more in line with what I like. I just felt the gameplay, the gunplay was just better. And I know that Bethesda advanced their techniques and the gunplay to Fallout 4 and Fallout 76, but still, I still think that Obsidian, if you were to candidly ask them, hey, you guys want to work on Fallout New Vegas 2, I think that they would say that's something we would like to do, but maybe not right now because we have a lot of projects on our hands, and I think that they're working on their own stuff, and that's being honest.
Yeah, you know what? Listen, again, one of the things that, look, I'm gonna kind of just pause it for a hot second. If anyone's a fan of the MCU, which if you're not, I hear you. I am a diehard fan. I love what they do and how they incorporate and how they create. Right, whether it's a show, whether it's a film, whether it's however they incorporate all of these characters into this giant living world that eventually is going to be Secret Wars, which is amazing. Right.
Yeah.
Um, One of the things that has never been spoken about for Xbox is something that I hear all the time with Kevin Feige. Now, Kevin Feige is a true leader, a true mastermind, an absolute diehard. He is making 10 figures, and he's a nerd just like us, which is bonkers, right? Um, he goes with at least once a year or at least once every other year, and he has this giant retreat with all of the people from the Marvel, the MCU, and they powwow, and they just had one where they all went to this big retreat, and they just powwowed for the what the MCU was going to look like for the next decade. I mean, think
Yep.
about that, for the next 10 years. That's bonkers.
Yep.
Thinking that far ahead. I don't know if this is the thing that happens in gaming, but Microsoft is in such a position with so many studios that I keep asking for a kart game that incorporates their first party IP characters, like a Mario Kart. I bring that up once a year because it's something I don't want to let die. Same way I talk about Killer Instinct and I talk about Banjo-Kazooie, and I know that people in the chat being, my God, Boom, stop talking about it. No,
It's just a missed opportunity. I see where you're coming
no,
from.
it absolutely is a missed opportunity. But I kind of wonder if they would have one of these major retreats to kind of powwow, John,
Yeah.
to kind
Yeah.
of talk about, hey, what does the one team, like, hey, who in the audience wants to work on a banjo game? You might get some takers. You know what I'm saying? Who wants to, who from Turn 10 and Playground Games enjoys Mario Kart? And anybody have any takers for a kart racer game? You don't
Absolutely.
know. I don't know. I
Absolutely.
mean, John, what do you think about that kind of getting the feel? Because again, it's first of all, at 23 studios.
I think it's something that they need to do, Boom, because the thing is that look, if this acquisition comes through with the Activision Blizzard, they absolutely, it would be so beneficial for them just to do a huge, like you said, a huge gathering of all the studios and all the teams, put everybody together and see how they can gel off of each other, and
Yeah.
and more importantly, see what these teams are passionate about making. Just hear them
Oh
out, put it
wow.
on the board, talk about all the franchises that you have, the big franchises, and see, hey, you know what if, can you imagine, Boom, and that's why I get so excited about like the possibilities here, and I get where you're coming from, because the possibilities are endless. It would be, to me, if we don't hear in the next 10 years some type of crossover between Master Chief and Doom Guy, what a missed opportunity.
100%.
And and and,
Yeah.
and those are the kind of opportunities that we're all here kind of like nudging at Microsoft to do. Like, hey guys, you do realize that you can potentially have so many IPs under your wing that you can make a kart racer game. You guys can make a hero shooter. You guys can make co-op games. They can incorporate skins, Master Chief skins in Call of Duty down the line. So many things that they can just do. They just need to really be creative. That's all it takes. All it takes is a little bit of creativity and common sense,
Yeah.
and the sky is the limit. So I get where you're coming from, Boom, and I hope that they, I hope that Phil understands this, and maybe if he's not the one to lead this, I just hope that he can bring someone on staff that can be kind of like you said, that Kevin Feige like producer that can put things on a map, on a roadmap, and say, listen, this is where the future of this franchise is heading. We've heard the fans clamoring for a New Vegas 2. We believe that this team can work on this project, and it's just all about planning and roadmaps, Boom, when it really comes down to it. And they have so many IPs that it would really be a shame if they can't get all their ducks in a row here.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think there's something to be said by having one of these retreats to kind of get everybody on the same page, and maybe get hash out what Xbox is going to look like in the next 10 years.
Right.
What games are going to come after what we already know, which would be pretty awesome. Real quick, Joe Dunmore, good friend of the program, drops a very generous $5 super chat, and he says, "This is great. I want a Forza Horizon 6 Las Vegas, which sounds dope. The DLC can be Fallout New Vegas themed." Yes and yes.
There you go.
That would be actually kind of dope. Honestly, and I know I'm going to get booed for this. I want Forza Horizon Japan next.
Oh yeah, I thought that was gonna be the DLC. That was one of my predictions.
Like I mean, no, but you know what? I get it. They got to stay in Mexico because they just got there, which is fine. Which is fine. The Hot Wheels tracks. I know some people were disappointed, not me, because I played with them as a kid. So for me, this is awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised, Boom, and in like the next 3 years, 2 to 3 years, the big push is going to be for games taking place in Japan. So don't be surprised if Assassin's Creed is in Japan, the next Forza's in Japan. It's going to be just an abundance of Japanese love given in the next 2 or 3 years with games that are releasing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, like I said, there's a lot to get excited about if you're an Xbox fan, for first party specifically, but just with the Game Pass scenario, we know that they are really they're pulling out all the stops. Game Pass is the exclusive. There's no doubt about it. What I want to do is I do want to kind of this is a small topic. This comes the way of and I didn't know this. Jacob Novick in the chat. So Jacob, thank you so much for the DM. And I didn't actually know this. Apparently, Squanich Games has yet to confirm whether High on Life will release on the PlayStation 4 or 5. According to, I believe it's Games Radar, High on Life is a console launch exclusive for Xbox platforms, and that is not yet to have been determined if or when the amount of time it is between it coming onto the PlayStation 5. So right now, folks, this is one of their big exclusives for 2022. It's one of my most anticipated games for sure. John, are you surprised by this? Because normally it seems, and chat, please tell me if I'm wrong, when Microsoft does these exclusives, it's 30 days, it's 60 days, it's 90 days, and boom, it's on a PlayStation. This seems to be a little bit different. This seems to be like, hey, it's not coming to a PlayStation in 4 or 5 this year for sure. And who knows if it releases next year. Do you want to see Microsoft do more of these Sony-esque like deals? And again, I know if Phil is such a great dude and he wants everyone to play everywhere. But again, business is business. I get it. With Xbox, you can play everywhere, John. You can play on your phone, your computer, your tablet. Later this year on your new Samsung TVs, and of course, on your Xbox Series X and S. So technically, you can play everywhere. Are you surprised that this is a true to honest
No, boom.
Exclusive.
No, I'm not surprised by that, boom, because with the little with the little details that we know, who knows if maybe Microsoft funded the game and it was able to be complete, and they were able to expand more on it. I'll tell you what, man, when we were watching that showcase live, boom, and we were all just giddy when that trailer showed, man. That game looks absolutely bonkers. It looks like a mix between, like you said, something that would have been created
Insomniac. It
by
looked like an Insomniac
Insomniac.
game. Like I
It,
swear, I really thought it was them that made it.
yeah, it looked like a cross between that Stranger's Wrath that I remember from the OG Xbox days, and it looked absolutely incredible, dude. Now, the where I think that Phil will be hesitant to make games exclusive, it's when it's beloved IPs, such like Tomb Raider, because they got such a backlash for that back in the day.
Yeah.
So I think that anything that is historically multi-plat, that's where he'll be kind of gun shy to pull a trigger on that. But I think anything that is new IP related, Phil will be more than welcome to just have it for the Xbox ecosystem. So remember, what does the Xbox ecosystem means? It means console, PC, cloud. That is Xbox now. It's not Xbox isn't anymore your traditional console. Okay, it's
Yeah, it's
only
not
about the
locked
console.
behind a box anymore. Yeah.
Right. It's the ecosystem. So I mean, he said it in the closing of the Bethesda deal. We want to bring these titles, to anywhere where Game Pass is available, and
Love it.
those are the places that Game Pass is available. So anything new, boom. To answer the question again, anything new? Yes. Anything that has historical, multi-platform ties, he'll be really gun
Probably
shy
not.
about it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's a fair point. Let me just Glacier Dan. Hey, brother, welcome to the program. He says timed exclusives are stupid, and I agree to some extent for sure. But we also, there,
Yes and
who was it?
no. Yes and
Y-
no. Because the thing is that listen, guys. I there's a like this has been the theme this week. Balance, right?
Yeah.
That's been the theme, that you need to have a good balance of original content. You need to have a balance of games that are going to entice people to want to subscribe and invest into the ecosystem. You're not gonna Okay, if Moon Knight is available on Amazon Prime and Disney Plus, but you already pay for a Prime subscription, are you gonna want to fork over the money and give it to Disney Plus? No. That's why Disney Plus has to put it on their service
Right.
exclusively,
Yeah.
because they're trying to draw the audience that way. So there's a balance.
Yeah, there is a balance, and I like the way Microsoft is doing it. I mean, look, the final AVIFTW in the chat says, "At Glacier Dan, I know, right? He doesn't like. I guess he's on the same page, but he says I'm still waiting for Final Fantasy remake, which hopefully, for the love of the gaming gods, ladies and gentlemen,
Today,
at
hopefully
6
today.
p.m. today." We should know. Apparently, there is a Square Enix stream. It is celebrating the 25th anniversary. The rumor, folks, that comes the way of the snitch of all people from Twitter. He originally put that it
That
again. It's
snitch.
it's been suggested. And that guy knows his stuff. Apparently, people seem to think he's actually a YouTube employee who gets to look at because everyone uploads their things and he gets to look at it, and that's how he drops all the information. He
Wow.
actually leaked the entire Sony show, and no one caught it. Like literally down to the each one, and he didn't get anything wrong, and no one caught it. But there is some suggestions that it's going to be announced for Switch Cloud and Xbox. Is it
Yeah.
Xbox Game Pass? I don't know. I would, like I said, if it is, I'm gonna literally start playing that and Ninja Turtles at the same time
If
because
it, if it doesn't get announced today coming to Xbox, boom, I lost all hope.
it's not coming. Yeah,
It's over. Yeah, today's the day.
yeah, 100%. If it's not announced today, just pack up the bags and get the
Yeah.
f out of here because it's not happening ever again. That's a sad reality. Drawn TJ drops a very generous additional $5 super chat and says, "I see Doom guy using a portal going into Halo.
There you
I would
go.
love something like that. That would just be bonkers." And again,
this is the boom. This is the equivalent. Microsoft has the chance to create an end game like moment where
yeah,
where they can interconnect things and give their fans just this ultimate urethra. Oh my god, I can't. You know, it would be. It would. Can you imagine us Xbox fans rejoicing just seeing the Chief and Doom guy together? It would be amazing.
it's funny you say that because I've been saying this for years. Like I always hoped. If I'm the head of a studio, whatever studio, Boomstick Studios, whatever, and
A double barrel
I'm
game,
given the
dude.
opportunity to cross over something, even if it's a small project, what I would have done before the whole Doom guy thing is I would have crossed over Gears and Halo, and how I would have changed it up is Master Chief would have been third person, Marcus Phoenix would have been first person.
That's a nice idea.
Imagine chainsawing someone in half in first person. Come on. I mean,
For Gears, I think
yeah,
what was it? Gears 5 that you were Emil? I was always picking the Emil skin. It was so cool being a Spartan out there.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it would be. Rain says yes. It would be literally a tempo moment in gaming. Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. But listen, again, this was just a little bit of a blip into the conversation, John. About the exclusivity of this game. High on Life is a big game. It looks like it's going to be phenomenal. The graphics and the world and the hilarity that behind those guns, the knife, stabby. I'm going to be peeing in my pants playing this game.
It looked like a violent Monsters Inc., dude.
Yeah, it really did. Yeah, it absolutely did. But listen, folks, we're here to talk about something that I think went over a lot of people's heads. During their Xbox Bethesda show, there are two particular points that jump off the page for me. And again, it's easy to suggest, maybe it's Fallout for you. I mean, Fallout. Maybe it's Starfield for you. Maybe it's Motorsport. Maybe it's Redfall. And you wouldn't be wrong for saying any of those things. For me personally, the two big standout announcements that I think elevated the show for me was the Riot Games. From a businessman's point of view, seeing how, and again, I'm not a mobile guy. I never have been. I don't play on the computer. I don't really play hardly anything on the phone, on mobile. It's just not my bag. I'm a traditional, console under the TV kind of a dude. Maybe because I'm old, and that's fine. But that Riot Games situation is massive. It's massive in such a way that they could logistically, once the conversion of bringing all those games over to Xbox Game Pass, mobile and PC, get 10 million new subscribers almost instantaneously, right? We talked about this last night on Primetime Gaming. Dustin Legary did the math on what all the characters would cost for League of Legends, and it's almost $800, John, right? So you sign up for Game Pass, and it's $15, and every character is yours to download. But that, as important as that is, that's actually not what we're going to talk about, John. We're going to talk about what happened with the Japanese connection. Let me tell you something, folks. I understand that there are going to be a subset of folks here that don't have an affection or even a remote interest in JRPGs or that style of game. And if you're one of those gamers, I absolutely understand. No judgment here, folks. Everyone likes games for different reasons. But again, there is and real quick, Beer Baron in the chat says, I think Boom could be right. They could make a separate Game Pass for mobile. Dude, look, it's just a theory. It's just a theory. But just put this in your brain pan for a second. If you're a mobile player, right, and you play any of these games that are coming the way of King, or any of these games that are, let's say, with Blizzard, right? If you were to offer like a smorgasbord of cards and card packs and characters and different things for signing up for Xbox for Xbox Game Pass for mobile, $4.99 a month. Just imagine how many people are going to sign up for that. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Now, could they make a maximum tier of $20 or $18? You know, like a Game Pass Ultimate, like we have now, to get you everything. Potentially, are they going to raise the price anytime soon? I don't think so, but I definitely think a mobile aspect is coming. But I digress. Let's talk about what was announced at the show, John. I understand someone like Boxenberg, a good friend of this program, personal friend of mine, he thinks Hideo Kojima incredibly overrated. None of his games really resonate with him. So, you know, he still admits it's a big deal. The game that is more than likely coming to Xbox in the form of a horror game is Overdose. That is the running rumor. That is going to be an Xbox true exclusive. And that is a big deal. But what's some of the other what compounds Hideo Kojima working with Xbox is seeing Persona 3, 4, and 5 come to Xbox Game Pass. And on
Yep.
top of that, seeing the return of Team Ninja. Remember that Team Ninja's last two games, Neo 1 and 2, not on Xbox, right? Two magnificent games, not on Xbox. They have returned not only to Xbox, but they're releasing this brand new IP on Xbox Game Pass day and date. It's huge. And of course, now we've seen last year the announcement of these mega deals that Sega and Microsoft have going. Potentially, and again, this is just speculative at this point, we are expecting Final Fantasy VII Remake to finally come to Xbox consoles. We have that on a few rumors. If you didn't know, recently the only on PlayStation thing has been removed from Final Fantasy VII, which suggests it is coming potentially to Xbox. What we're seeing happen here, folks, is a seismic move that Microsoft has been grinding for years to happen. And it appears that, you know, with the Riot Games situation, we understand those MOBAs in that region of the world are absolutely massive. And when you compound that with Hideo Kojima, you compound that with Atlus finally bringing Persona, again, not for me, but it is for someone. And now you see Team Ninja and you see Sega and potentially Square Enix. John, I'm interested to get how big of a deal this is to you.
Yeah, I think it's pretty huge, Boom. And I read an article this week that I think really touched on a couple of things that were very, very important, and just showing how instrumental Kojima can be. And it goes in line with exactly what you're talking about when you say how much Microsoft and Xbox has grinded to capture that Japanese audience, to get their foot in the door, okay, and not be ignored by these mega tentpole franchises and publishers. And you mentioned something a little while ago, which is funny because I have it here in my notes. I call this the MCU effect. Okay. And I put that specifically on my notes, and it's incredible we're on the same wavelength, right? Because by Kojima coming over, it's the MCU like effect, because now, the same way that the MCU started, and not every actor and director wanted to be associated to comic book films, it is the golden standard in cinema now. It is the thing that's making the most money, and everybody wants a part of it. Every actor wants a part of it, every director wants a part of it, and if you're not in an MCU movie, you're missing out. Okay. And I believe that Xbox has slowly but surely catapulted themselves, that if you are not on their in their ecosystem, you are missing out on a lot of user base. Okay. And I think that, individuals like Kojima have come to realize this, and a lot of the mega publishers in Japan, they can't ignore Xbox anymore. They're not the third wheel anymore, boom, like you mentioned in the green room. They're not, this is not the Xbox One generation where they can release a title and completely skip the Xbox because they don't even think that it's gonna be worth their while. Now it is worth their while. Now they understand that they are missing out if they miss out on Xbox, right? But on top of that, right, going back to Kojima, Kojima specifically brings a couple of things, and this is why this deal is so huge, right? Think about this, boom. Kojima is going to get a blank check from Xbox, okay? Whatever idea it is that this dude has in his mind, that he has said that he's always wanted to work on this game, do you really think that they're going to put any parameters on him? They're going to let this dude go wild, okay?
Yeah,
I
I
believe
agree.
so. And who knows if what an unleashed Kojima can do to the medium, to this space, because the stigma that Kojima has, and he's always had, is that the dude should be in film and get out of the video games industry. No, I disagree. He wants to catapult, in my opinion, he wants to catapult the video game medium to elevate it even and even surpass what films can be. Right. That's I think his ultimate goal would be, that he wants to surpass what cinema and gaming can do. What that means, I don't know. Only that dude understands himself, and only that dude can understand what type of vision that is, right? But this partnership with Microsoft is very interesting because if Metal Gear Solid 5, it's, it's in the community, there's some people that like it, there's people that don't, but the bottom line is that the production in that game is amazing. Okay, there's bar none, the production is amazing, and only Kojima can bring that level of production to a game. And when you really look at it, right, Kojima will have access now to this cloud technology. All right. What does that mean for cloud gaming, right? I know it's been a buzzword for years and years and years that we've heard, oh, cloud gaming is going to enhance gaming, but how? We just need to look at one title to see what the possibility of cloud gaming is, boom, and that's Flight Simulator. Okay. That's just a small taste of what cloud gaming has the power to do. And to me, that's the best looking game to date. Is Microsoft Flight Simulator. I have yet to see a game that looks better than Flight Simulator. All right. But that's just me personally. But now that Kojima has access to this technology, to this cloud technology, and he has this idea that apparently he's very, very passionate about, and he wants to see his dream come true. Dude, who knows how this can revolutionize gaming? Who knows what type of system he can create? Is it going to be something with NPCs? Is it going to be something that completely defines the generation? We don't know. We got to wait and see. But it's one of those things that he's very passionate about, and I'm very excited to see where that goes, right? And then I think the most, and to go back, to circle back, boom, the most important part of this is that now that Kojima has aligned himself with Xbox, they really can't be ignored anymore. They have possibly the most popular, the most polarizing, the most influential Japanese developer under their wing. So now, more than ever, these publishers, that's why we're seeing the personas, come to Xbox. That's why hopefully later today we'll see Final Fantasy VII come to Xbox. In my humble opinion, Xbox has surpassed Sony to the Japanese gamer. I mean that. I think that they have surpassed them, the PlayStation gamer, and I'm going to tell you why. It's because of cloud. It's because of the options that Xbox is giving gamers. Just like I mentioned to you, I was able to try out Turtles while being away from my system. Okay, that's huge, dude. The Japanese audience, I think, is very, very engaged in being able to pick up and play wherever they go. Keep on gaming, mobile, cloud gives you that ability to do that. And I think that right now Xbox is really serving that Japanese audience, and they're serving them with exactly what they're looking for, where another company like PlayStation is not. So there's so many things, boom, that we can go into the Kojima deal. What a landmark that was. When I saw him come out, I was really excited because, to me, boom, I grew up on Metal Gear 2, I love Metal Gear 3. I really liked Metal Gear Solid 4. And the thing is that you Kojima is, whether however you feel about him, whether you like him, dislike his games, he's just one of those devs that you and creators that you want on your box. Okay, you want him on your box because why not? Why not? That's just the way I see it.
Yeah, and look, as important, John, as Kojima's.
Boom, can you hear me?
Oh, hold on. Yeah, let me see. Am I muted? Did I mute you? Uh oh. Chat. Let me know if
No,
you
you're
if
good.
you
I
can
could
hear.
hear you now.
Okay. All right. Um, as important as the Kojima signing is, and it is a big deal. It took a long time to get here. Obviously we heard about this through rumors going back. I think in the middle of last year, right? Is when we heard it. Um, I think that as big as that is, and it's huge, right? The for me personally, the Team Ninja returning to Xbox is massive. It's massive because the game that they're
Yes.
currently working on, which is known as Wulong Fallen Destiny, looks absolutely astounding. Now, it is coming to PlayStation 4 and 5, from what we understand. There was an embargo that Microsoft made them sign for 48 hours, apparently. So no
Yeah.
one could talk about PlayStation, which is, again, that's a very PlayStation move. I'm glad Microsoft is doing that because, like I said, when Sony does it, no one talks. When Microsoft does it, everyone's with the cameras and the mics, and that people aren't getting let off the stage. That happened for Tomb Raider. Whoa, what do
I
you mean
agree.
it's
Yep.
exclusive? Ridiculous. So I'm
Yep.
happy that they did have the embargo. I'm happy that Wulong is coming to Xbox Game Pass. The game looks like a AAA monster. I cannot wait for that game that's coming out, I believe, next year, or at least scheduled for next year, which is awesome. But you know what's even more awesome? The fact that this is the same team that if this Wulong goes well for them, who's to say that Microsoft hasn't already talked to them about bringing back Ninja Gaiden as potentially an
Oh yeah.
exclusive? John, what are your thoughts on that? But before I do, man, Run TJ, you are definitely spoiling us here, brother. He drops an additional unbelievable and, in my opinion, ridiculous $50 super chat and says, crazy idea, but what if Doom Guy goes into Gears first because he's running from something evil and it follows and somehow he teleports into Halo with Marcus Phoenix? Oh my God, dude. They should hire you. They at first think Chief is a foe, but find out that he's a friend. I want to play that game. Now
Damn.
my life is ruined. Thanks, Sean
Yeah.
TJ. You just ruined my life because I want to play that game. Look, I'm going to say this: the likelihood of a team up, I don't know how if that ever happens. I am going to once again circle the wagons and say, and if you hate me for saying this again, I'm sorry. I'm going to keep beating this. If you look at how many copies of Mario Kart 8 sold on the Wii U versus what has sold, a remake, literally a remake of the Wii U game on Switch, it is the number one selling game on Switch. So I say that
Yep.
to say that the only way we're going to see any of these unbelievable crossovers of seeing like a Conquer in the world of a Gears or a Master Chief in the world of Forza is seeing them build this kart racer. I mean, Disney's putting out one. We saw Sega do one a couple of years. They did quite a few of them. They're all amazing. We've seen
Nickelodeon
Crash do
has one.
one. The Nickelodeon one, I think it's $5 right now, which I'm actually going to buy today because my nephew, he loves the Nickelodeon stuff. I didn't even know it existed. I happened to just be
And I
looking.
think the Turtles. Yeah.
Turtles
I
is
think
in
the
that,
Turtles
yeah,
are in
because
there.
they own the IP. But I love the idea of these crossovers. And like John kept reiterating, it's a missed opportunity if this doesn't come to fruition. One of the things that you guys and gals have heard me talk about for years, since I started doing this channel, is as great as it is to chainsaw someone's face off, or curb stomp somebody, or play a first person shooter that's adult themed. One of the things that seemed to be absent from the conversation when it comes to Microsoft, and it's shocking to me, John, is the family friendly games. They don't have any of their own, and they have IPs that could satisfy this. And I'd love to see them do an original IP in the form of a cart. But let's circle back around. What are your thoughts on the potential? We've heard the rumblings. People in the chat, everyone loves Ninja Gaiden. As a matter of fact, Ninja Gaiden Black specifically was one of the most difficult games on the OG Xbox. I mean, you could say that back in those days, that was the birth of the Souls game. Some of those bosses were ridiculous.
Dude, that first dude with the nunchucks, it took me like a year to beat him. No, not a year, but it took
the master in the dojo. That guy's a prick. Yeah, he's a real prick. You got to block and you got to block. He's a real prick, that guy. Yeah, absolutely. He and I'm not going to tell you in the doll where he touched me. I'm not going to tell you because it's not right. But all jokes aside, John, chat, let's get you involved. We got almost 400 people here. Do you want to see if Wulong turns out to be the game we think it is, which it looks like it's going to be another classic Ninja, Team Ninja game? Do you want to see Microsoft potentially set up a deal to bring Ninja Gaiden back, even if it's a remake of the original? I mean, like a full-on remake, not the trilogy that just barely looks like they put two sticks and a Band-Aid together. Those games, they still don't play well. Do you want to see that, John?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, I do, Boom. I think Ninja Gaiden is huge, okay? And dude, Ninja Gaiden is so freaking badass, Boom. Ninja Gaiden 2 sticks out to me as my favorite, with the dismembering and all that good stuff that I remember the gameplay, how satisfying it was. And it's just, let me throw something at you, Boom, that I kind of caught the vibes of. And again, just speculating here on I'm setting myself up for failure, but whatever. What if Wulong is a prequel to Ninja Gaiden, and it's set in the same universe?
That's pretty interesting because I mean that's
I mean, there's nothing there to tell you other than a dragon and the dragon blade. There's no other connection there, right? I mean, to tell you that. But dude, can you imagine if that was like a revelation in the game, that's some type of Ninja Gaiden prequel? I mean, I would lose my shit. So I think that's something that would be huge if they were to do that, Boom. And Ninja Gaiden, I think, is one of those franchises that Team Ninja, again, we've been talking about missed opportunities. I think that it would be a missed opportunity if they do not bring out some type of Ninja Gaiden in the near future.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And that's a pretty interesting theory. We don't really know if it is a prequel, because they didn't say, and there's certainly I mean, we don't see any of the characters, but then again, this could be hundreds of years before. So again, it's a pretty interesting theory. Real quick, Drawn TJ drops an additional $5 super chat that I missed. He says, I see Doom Guy using a portal into Halo. I like I said, I love that idea. We also have another super chat from, hold on, let me pull it up right here. Let me find it. Holy cow, this chat is going very fast. We have Hitman drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, finally, someone sees the mobile side of Game Pass. That's why I say it's now Xbox plus EA. Just look at the Apex mobile, and they're working on a Battlefield mobile. Yeah, dude, it's the Microsoft, once this deal goes through.
Look, Boom, I'm going to tell you how. I'll tell you.
John,
it'll be huge. And Boom, let me tell you something, and everyone listening about. Oh, there you go. Okay, let me tell you, the mobile space, Boom, as much as we, us quote unquote gamers poo on it, it's huge, Boom. I've been playing Doom Immortal nonstop, and the amount of players that I've come across with is huge. All right, not to mention, so many people at my job have downloaded Diablo Immortal and have picked up and played. the mobile space is huge, and I think that Microsoft sees that they really need to kind of get their teeth, sink their teeth in there, because if that 3 billion or whatever number it was that Phil Spencer said that he wants to achieve is to come to fruition, mobile is where a big chunk of that it needs to come from.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and like I said, I love what Microsoft. I love this, and in fact, tomorrow morning's Breakfast with Boom, I tried to get Hogue Law on because he just did a video which we're going to be using as a major reference point to kind of talk about what's going on with the ABK deal. If you happen to miss out on it, and again, we'll go into more specifics tomorrow morning when we go live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Apparently, the folks, the union that signed that letter with Senator Warren and the rest of the senators regarding concerns for Microsoft taking over, adding Activision Blizzard to, Microsoft, have apparently signed with Microsoft, and they said they put a statement out that they have no concerns with Microsoft taking over for both Activision and Blizzard. That is a monster deal, because a lot of us have been thinking that this deal wasn't going to get done potentially. And again, if you look at the notes in the original posting, summer of 2023, folks, this union, Microsoft signing with the unions and allowing unions for unions to be in gaming for the first time. They're the first conglomerate, game developer publisher, to allow unions in the history of gaming. That's massive. But you know what's even a more massive deal? The fact, John, that could potentially get this deal done even before the end of the year. Some people are saying September. Some people are saying October. Pretty incredible. But again, we're not going to get into that right now, because I do want to watch Hogue's video again. It was very informative, and we're going to definitely be talking about that. But John, this has been a solid almost hour, 70 minutes, which is what this show usually is. I want to thank nearly 400 people that tuned in to the new episode of X Vlog Live. Hopefully you enjoyed the conversation about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to open up the show, talking about Fallout, talking about what Bethesda's plans are going to be, versus maybe they kind of should relinquish the Fallout IP to Obsidian and let them make new Fallout New Vegas 2 while they work on Elder Scrolls 6. And of course, to close out the show, we talked about Japan, its importance, and we even threw some mobile talk in there. John, sell your brand, brother. Tell everyone where they can find you on social media, but more importantly, where can they subscribe to your YouTube channel?
Yeah, thanks, Boom. Thanks for having me on the show, brother. It was an absolute pleasure speaking to you this afternoon. The chat has been great. I've seen a lot of great comments on there. Hit me up, guys. Boom is going to link my Twitter down below. I have my YouTube channel linked there, as well as where you can find me on Xbox and PlayStation and all that good stuff. Hit me up, guys. I'll be playing Turtles later today when I get home from work, Boom. I'm definitely going to hit you up if I see you online. I got dibs on Ralph for whoever's listening, so don't even think about it. I got Raphael. All right. And honestly, Boom, thank you so much for the opportunity again, dude. It's been amazing to talk about these topics, and a lot of thoughts, man, and a lot of big opinions. And it's nice to always listen to everybody's thoughts on these things and kind of digest them and then see where it goes from there. That's the beauty of this, right? What we do, we speculate, we talk about it, and then we see where it goes.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love the conversations. I definitely love the conversations. Again, we had almost 400 people here. Heads up, I'm gonna, as soon as this show is done and I upload it up to the RSS feed, so you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and wherever you listen to your podcasts, that are not YouTube. I'm going to jump on Turtles. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm going to send out a party message. If you want to jump in, just jump in. We'll hang out. We'll BS. I'll record some footage for the show tomorrow. But of course, folks, thank you so much for being here. Big shout out to all the super chats that came in. Those donations do power the giveaways. They do power the equipment that we buy, that we need new for the channel. And we are doing next month, Christmas in July. It's going to be a $400 giveaway.
Wow.
And yeah, $400. We're probably going to be doing somewhere around I think it's going to be six $50 gift cards and six $25 gift cards to your favorite place that you like to buy games from, whether that be Xbox Live, PSN, or Nintendo eShop. All you got to do is be in the chat, folks. We'll be giving more specifics as we get closer to that Christmas in July. We do it every year. This is something that Mrs. Boomstick is really big on, and we're going to be doing it again this year. But of course, I'm going to close out today's show with something, folks, that's important to me. Hopefully one day it'll be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he said, son, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, son. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of X Vlog Live.
Take care, guys.